To the Enough Said podcast. We are in season 5 and we are in preseason mode here, talking about all the different divisions in the National Football League and their teams and how they're going to fare this season, giving you a little bit of a preview. So, as always, you can check us out if you like what you hear on YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can also find us on all the major channels like Facebook or email us at enoughsaidcrew@gmail.com. All right, with that being said, guys, we are in the AFC East now, talking about the AFC East teams. Mike, kick us off, buddy.
All right, let's go ahead and start this thing off with the Miami Dolphins. And, I guess the big question with them, and it's been a question for the last couple of seasons, is this year that they finally are able to stay strong throughout the whole season and pull off wins down the stretch, or are they going to fade away like they've done in the past?
Well, they better, because they just signed Tua for 4 years, $212.4 million, and Tariq for 3 years, $90 million. So they better. They invested a lot of money in that pair, man. They're like the Cowboys in that regard. They got their 2 guys that they want to pay. So the thing that always is Miami's problem is the defense, man. They just cannot, for some reason, get it together on defense. So if they can somehow find a way to get that together, and if Tua can stay healthy and concussion free, I think you got something there. But they still got a long way to go, Dre.
Yeah, man. I mean, you can pay these guys all the wazoo money, but has it changed anything? No. Well, last season, no. Mm-hmm. Tua, though, to me, was on his shoulders when I saw him in the playoffs, man. He was just like done. Like, he just couldn't get it together. Cold. Yeah, I get that. The weather changes.
I wouldn't want to be out. I wouldn't want to be there. Just get me out.
It was cold.
It was cold, but again, he threw it down to the cheetah. The cheetah got him back. But then where was other weapons?
Cold.
You know what I mean? You could you said cold. Like, you can throw it to the cheetah all you want, man. But I have to agree with Sal. The defense has to improve. And we got to see a little bit better in the run game too.
Yeah, I think this might be their breakout year. I think they're really going to challenge something this year. I mean, the last couple of years hasn't been really anything and whatnot. So, I predict them to be having a breakout year this year. Yeah. They do have faith in Tua. I mean, I don't blame him signing Tariq. And then you also have Waddle on the other side. And then you got the 2 running backs. Shane?
Mozart.
Mozart. You know what I mean? That's a 2-headed monster. You know what I mean? Right there. So
I just want to see more.
Yeah. So that's why I said I think it's going to be a breakout season this season with this team. Let's see. Yep. That's how I feel.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because that game what them playing in the cold last year was because they didn't handle their business at the end of the season. And that's why they had to go on the road to Kansas City and deal with that. So this should be the year that I don't say Super Bowl. I don't think Tua is the quarterback to get them to a Super Bowl, but I do think he is in that offense capable of leading them offensively to stay powerful. Mm-hmm. And I think they'll have enough defensive changes that they should win that division. I think they're going to be the team that will overtake the Bills, and we'll talk about the other teams. But I think Miami is definitely has a shot to be in the playoffs and be a contender. A lot of it is going to be riding on Tua. Now they got the big contract. I think he overpaid, but I guess the market's the market. But I think Miami's definitely will figure it out and will finally live up to the height that they have at the beginning of the season. That they'll still be pretty strong at the end of the season.
I like their coach too. I really do. Yeah, I like his coach. Yeah. So
Mike McDaniels. He's chill. All right, let's go on to the Patriots. And look, the legend is gone. Bill is finally out of the picture completely. So with this team, is Drake Maye era going to start early or is it going to start late?
You could have Jesus Christ the quarterback and it won't matter with this team, man. You got Kendrick Bourne, Demario Douglas, and Jalen Polk, and even Jesus Christ couldn't help this team. I mean, no, man. Jacoby Brissett, he's a transition quarterback. He's going to be okay. He's going to hold the fort down, but you got to get some weapons, man. And again, this team has no foundation. They're totally in rebuild mode, obviously, now that Belichick's out of the picture. They got a long way to go. They might be in the Archie Manning watch with some of our other teams that we talked about, guys, and trying for those top 3, top 5 picks there.
Well, can you go worse? I don't know. I mean, that was pretty bad last season. They have to go up. That's the only way they have to, and I mean, it like you said, rebuilding, the whole era is over now with Belichick. Drake
Maye. Yeah.
I know. I'm just thinking, man. I don't know. Enough said.
Yeah, I mean, when did you see the last time New England was in last place? With this era and all that stuff. Tom Brady, you know what I mean? All that's just, it's in the history books. You know what I mean? So, yeah, New England is going to be at the bottom, and then here we go. Who's going to have that number 1 draft pick? You know what I mean? Come this year. Yeah, there's another one that's going to be fighting for it. Because they're not putting any performance or anything out in the field. So,
yeah. I think the expectations are kind of low for this team. I do think Drake Maye is going to probably see the field a lot sooner than later. To your point about that first round pick, if Drake Maye turns out that he's got, what it takes, then they can use a high draft pick on another position, to help build his team versus going back to the drawing board quarterback. I don't think we really realized to some degree how much damage, Belichick did to the franchise going out the door. The last 3 years were pretty bad, with that quarterback. I can't think of his name right now, but he was bad. Matt Jones, that was really kind of a setback, and they never really drafted well, with offensive players. They had a good defense, but that's the offensive league. They struggled. The whole deal with having Matt Patricia as a tight end, as a offensive coordinator, and all that kind of stupid stuff that they did. I think that really set back the franchise. So they're trying to rebuild not just from the quarterback position, but just the coaching and having an identity that Bill Belichick had on that team for so long, but it almost like he lost some wisdom. It just like he just forgot how to do the job almost, and I think it kind of took a toll on the team.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so let's get down to the Showtime teams. So we'll start with the Jets. And speaking of Showtime, so look, last year the Jets had 5 primetime games, and they were all terrible to watch because Aaron Rodgers was not in them. Other than the first one where he lasted 4 minutes, and then he was out for the season. So again, the Jets are going for a double take. The NFL has got them scheduled for 4 to 5 more primetime games, starting with the season opener against the Niners. So, look, do we want to see this team again in prime time this year? Is this going to be the year that the Jets live up to all the hype with Aaron Rodgers, or no?
Well, one thing's for sure, Hassan Reddick's going to be watching him in prime time. You don't want to join the team. You don't want to have any parts of him, man.
It's crazy.
You got Aaron Rodgers, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams. You know the guys that they got. They're going to be better, obviously, with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. If Rodgers can stay healthy, don't forget he has been out for a whole year. We don't know how rusty he's going to be. He is getting older. So I don't see them really as contenders. I don't think they'll be a bad team. I do see them around like 500. I think they have some question marks on defense, but they do have some weapons on offense. With Breece Hall he's going to take some pressure off of Rodgers for sure, and I think that's going to help him. He's not going to have to do too much if he does this right. Listen,
man, I mean, I don't want to be prime time if he's going to pop the other one. So if he pops the other Achilles, no, take him off, man. I don't want them prime time. I mean, yeah, I agree with you with the wide receiver they got and all that stuff, but it's an Aaron Rodgers show. That's what it is. The Jets, they're all excited. They're going to give him another shot. If he does go down early, then that might be it, man, for them. So I don't know, Jermaine. I don't know what else to say. Well, I remember I was saying last year, I did say the defense, but the defense, man, it's
It wasn't what you thought it was.
Yeah, it wasn't what I thought it was. I was blinded by like what do you call it? Not oasis. When you're in the desert, you imagine it.
Mirage.
A mirage. Yeah, I had a mirage.
Yeah, you saw Oasis.
Inside joke, Jermaine, like the bridge in New York.
Oh my God! Yeah.
But anyway, man, I don't know, Jermaine. What do you think about this team?
Hey, Salah, I think his head coach, and this is another one that's on the hot seat. That's just my opinion. He's another one. I mean, if he don't get it right this year, I think they might be looking somewhere else. Aaron Rodgers, this is the last hurrah. I just agree. I'm done. I'm so done looking at him and his antics, and it's just, come on, man. Just you got your Super Bowl. Just go away into the sunset, But as far as with the other team, as far as with the other players on the team, yes, they got a good core as far as running back, receivers, and stuff. I think between the two, it's going to be the Jets and Miami running 1 and 2. Definitely. I mean, I just said, just can't say it, and it's pretty much a toss up who's going to win that division in my eyes, But this is the season. This is the season. It could be make it or break it for everybody, and you just start cleaning house. That's all. So
yeah, I think the team. I think a lot of it, of course, depends on Aaron Rodgers and his health, and how if he's healthy, then I think the team is definitely going to be competitive. As you can see in my name, I say it, JETS or JOKE, a joke, because it's too much drama, man. It's already drama, and I think Robert Saleh. I like Saleh as a coach, but I just think that there's going to be friction this year, and I think when they do struggle, because they're going to be a team that's going to be competitive, but they're going to lose. And it's going to be those losses that, when they start to kind of pile up a little bit, and Rodgers has his take and goes to the media and says, well, it'll be cryptic because, all his messages is always cryptic, but he's always throwing shade at somebody other than himself, and I think it's going to be shade at the coach or shade at the receivers or shade at the offensive line or shade at the defense. And then someone from that side of the ball is going to say something, and it's just going to be a lot of friction. And I think all that's going to tear that team apart to the point that by the end of it, they probably will clean house, and not on the GM side. I think the GM will stay, but I think coach wise, probably quarterback wise, they'll probably take a step back and say, you know what, we got to take a different approach to this.
Yep.
All right. Well, last but not least, we got the Buffalo Bills with, what's regarded the second best quarterback in the NFL. Arguably, there's a lot of arguments to that, but a lot of people say Josh Allen is the second best quarterback out there. So now the question I have for you guys, Stefon Diggs, even though he kind of fell off a little bit toward the end of the season, a lot of reason why Allen had a lot of success he had was because he could go to Diggs. Well, now Diggs is gone. So was it Allen or was it Diggs? What do you guys think going into this season? How are they going to do?
Well, it won't be with Khalil Shaquille, Keon Coleman, or Curtis Samuel. That's for sure. It's not exactly a stellar wide receiver trio. He definitely. I mean, look, Diggs helped him out. Allen does have talent, but again, he just hasn't seemed to put it together. He always has that moment where every good play he makes a bad one. He tries to do too much. He tries to force it. So I think Allen is a good quarterback. He doesn't, I don't think, have the weapons he had in the past. I still think they'll be good. I think they'll wind up being very competitive in this division. I think the second place will be tough between the Jets and the Bills. I think it's going to be tight between those two. Might end up being that the Bills kind of get a little bit ahead of them, but I think the Bills have a better defense than the Jets. But overall, man, come on. I mean, there's not the weapons there. He's not going to be the same without Diggs. And the defense is going to be able to kind of hone in a little more because you don't have that big weapon.
He's going to, Allen's going to be the leading rusher in that team.
Yeah, I was going to say.
There's no question about it. And it was supposed to be a little bit watered down a little bit when he had Diggs as his receiver. Davis is on that team too, right? Davis.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think
he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm off season really, but Sal. It's another, as we've been talking about these preview divisions, man. It's another team where they got to rely on Allen to carry them, honestly. And this guy does love to run. He loves to be like a running back / tight end, quarterback does it all. So we'll see how it goes. As for, I got them number 2 behind Miami. I think Jets are going to be 3. Honestly,
yeah, I think so. I agree with that.
I beg to differ with you guys. If you look at towards the end of the season, especially when they had that coordinator struggle and whatnot, and that coordinator, I forgot what the coordinator's name was, but he took over. He started running the ball. So Cook was definitely running the ball, especially like going towards the end of the season and into the playoffs. They started running the ball. They wasn't leaning heavily on Josh Allen because they had to run the ball because Stefon Diggs he disappeared. I mean, he really didn't do anything towards the end of the season. He didn't because they figured it out. I mean, a lot of defense started to figure him out and stuff. So Stefon Diggs and then that's when the turmoil started. I'm not getting the ball, and you know what I mean. I mean, well, how are you supposed to get the ball? You double, and they got like a bracket over you and whatnot. And then all of a sudden they started running the ball. So I believe that it's not going to be all on Josh Allen. Josh Allen's not going to be the leader. Right? If they can do what they did towards the end of the last season, and they finally figured it out, because me and Dre used to argue. Well, they don't run it. They don't got to run the ball. They never had to run the back, and they never run the ball. And then they finally figured it out towards the end of the season. So that's the way I see it. I still see them probably, in third because they don't got no wide receivers. People gonna start figuring out. All right, let's just jam the running game and let Josh throw to these weak behind receivers and whatnot. So, but yeah, I still see them at third. I still see the Jets and Miami running the table and stuff. But yeah. That's the way I see it. I don't think Josh is going to be. I think they're going to figure it out with this running game and get this running game going. A true traditional running back, running the ball. So,
yeah, I think you're saying they don't really have a strong receiving core. So I think it is going to revert back to how that offense was before they had Stefon Diggs, where it was a struggle, and Allen had to do a lot, with running the ball with his legs and things like that. I think it will help that they will have a running game because they didn't have a running game in the past. But yeah, this is a team that I think could have some question marks at the end of the season. Looking at Sean McDermott, and we looked at him before, kind of
hot seat.
Is he the right coach, for this team, or should he be on the hot seat because of the struggles they've had? So yeah, if they have a third place finish this season, I think there could be a lot of question marks. And Allen, you know him and his turnovers, and when you don't have receivers, that does force you to kind of force things a little bit, because you're like, I got to get the ball to this guy who can't catch, but I still got to try it. And so he could be another season where he leads the league in turnovers or close to the lead in the league in turnovers.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the AFC East, everybody. We appreciate you watching as always. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and Enough Said Crew. And of course, you could always reach out to us, enoughsaidcrew@gmail.com. We're on all the major networks, Facebook, Instagram, all that fun stuff. So thank you again, everybody. Enjoy the games this year. We look forward to seeing you throughout the season, everybody.
All right. Peace.
See you.